Recording. Okay, so I should tell. Okay. Um, so I thought I would try building a really simple Logosyllabary and try streaming that. Because then I can illustrate the way in which you go about doing that. Now, I am using I'm not using a cheap program. I'm using a very good program. Uh, FontLab Studio. It's probably state of the art, to be honest. Uh, there are other very good programs. I'm not saying there aren't. So what I'm doing is creating the syllabary part first. I don't have a language to go with this, so there is that. Oh, let me check. Okay, so yep, that is going out. Good. Now, something else I need to check here. Mouse. I'm not used to streaming on YouTube. This is like the second or third time I've done it. So I don't have the polished, hopefully polished, presentation that I have on Twitch. Still working on it. Okay, so let me bring up this, not that, this, which should actually be over here. Ah, there. Okay, so if you don't know, just to be clear, what a syllabary is, probably everybody is familiar with alphabet. I certainly hope they are. An alphabet, you have one symbol per sign, one glyph font term. In a syllabary, you have one syllable per vowel alone or consonant plus vowel, usually. There are some that will do additional signs for vowel plus consonant. I'm not. So this chart here is what I'm going to build. I'm owing a lot to Japanese, I think, in this regard, to like hiragana, which I, by the way, I know no Japanese at all, right? Watashi wa pong, I think, means I'm an idiot. That's about it. Um, but what I have here is the consonants that I'm going to have down the side and the vowels that I have across the top. Note there's only 4 vowels: A, E, I, and U. That is not uncommon. There's languages that only have 3, basically. Arabic has E, A, U, basically. They're not pronounced quite that way, and they have long form vowels too, and I don't have that. Although I could probably add that. Uh, then I have the signs for the consonants down the side, and the bottom one is unusual. It's marked N, M, and G. That is because it's going to mark a final nasal, and the actual one that's used in speech is going to depend on whether or not it's followed by a or whatever. That's my intention. I don't have a conlang for this. I don't at all. I intended to build one, and this was intended to be used for it, but I have no idea what's going to turn out. If it's going to look like it, I like it, or if it's going to be crap or whatever. I don't. But the point is to illustrate what I'm doing here, so that other people who want to do this sort of thing can do it. And I mean, when I'm done, do live session, YouTube. There's that. I expect this is going to take more than one session. Okay, so let's go over what we have here. To font. Okay, up here you will see encoding. And I have selected MS Windows 1252 Western, which is the ANSI standard. And if I was creating a font for, say, German, I would pick German under encoding. And then it would use the German language keyboard layout. I am not, and I'm an English speaker, so I'm mapping it to English because there is no language pack defined for a language I haven't built yet. So I'm going to map it to English. So that's all that really matters, is that the encoding up there that I picked should work on any operating system when you're using English without having to switch the language you're working in. In order to be able to switch the language you're working in, I would have to know how to build a language pack, and then I would have to build it for OS. I don't know, not very well documented. That's a thing I'd love to do down the road when I've got a more complete conlang, but certainly not appropriate for this. So I'm just building something that's really generic here. Now, because it is a logosyllabary, when you type in a consonant, let's say the T key, you're not going to see anything until you hit a vowel, okay? Because the symbol is going to represent T plus A, or T plus I, or T plus E, or T plus U. It's never going to just be the one letter. The only exception for that is going to be the vowel. So A, I, E, U are the only vowels I'm using at the moment. You'll see why in a minute. And for those, I will enter in symbols. You can see A is right here, or right here. For those, I'll enter them in because you could type in a word that began with a vowel. And then everything else after that is going to be consonant plus vowel. And in case consonant plus vowel with a possible final negative syllable. That's it. So how do we want to put this? So I'm not going to be defining anything for these except the vowel. The other thing is I don't need uppercase characters. So if we go to features, does this bring up features? It does not. Just a second. Let me check something here. I've misconfigured something. This is often the case. Feature. Gone blank. There. Okay. So features. I don't know how visible that is. I've got it on a tiny screen on the left. Hopefully it's visible. This is what is called the features file that is associated with a font, and it's how I do a lot of weird crap that I can make happen. A font. It's actually the reason I'm using FontLab Studio. FontLab Studio is massively complex, and I would have to say it's probably overkill, to be honest. I've only barely scratched the surface of it. I started off with an earlier version of it that was simpler and had less features, and I was just starting to get the feel for that, although even it had a 1,000-page manual. This one just blows it out of the water for features, but is kind of frustrating because I don't know where anything is. A lot of the stuff doesn't work the same. However, it's because I'm using Adobe OpenType font scripting, which is what you're seeing in this features window here. That's why I wanted to get this program, because it's spectacular for doing that stuff. I was using cheaper programs previous to this, and the first one was free, called Type Lite 3.0. Great program, free for Windows, and awesome, but limited. Then I got the paid version of that called Type 3.0, and it has lots of capabilities, but FontLab is more evolved than it. I should try doing some development in that too. I haven't revisited it. Might have been updated. Still an impressive program, and I think it was $60 US for that. And anything I'm doing here, you can do in Type, or probably any of the other programs that are out there. of varying costs. I'm sure some of them are free, but you do want actual font size. Anyway, all that is happening on the feature screen here at the very top is I don't need capitals. I don't need the capital letters. So the first statement there says we don't need capitals, and then says sub square bracket capital A to capital Z and square bracket and a single apostrophe by lowercase a to Z square bracket. And all that does is if I type in a capital T, Shift T, it's going to give me a lowercase t. So I don't need to define any of the capital letters at all. They're all there as blanks, and they're all going to be replaced by something. For the lowercase letters, the only ones I need to define are the vowel, and I shouldn't need to define else unless I come up with some change later on. Then what I've done is let me bring this up here on screen here. I went into a text editor, Notepad++ in this case, and wrote out all the syllables that I wanted to create. The system I want to build, I'll have to backtrack a sec here. The system I want to build is going to have a basic glyph for a syllable, and then subsequent syllables in the same word are going to get attached to the previous syllable. So I therefore have basically two types of glyphs. I will have a glyph for, say, HA right here, and then I will have HA.fina. Okay, and what that means is the medial and final forms of a glyph will have a little attachment to the previous glyph. It's really not as complex as it sounds. What that means is I built this list here, and then I built this other list here with .fina on the end of each of the names. I cut and pasted it, and well, I'll actually do that. So copy, close that, and then go up to font, generate glyphs, and paste in all that. I won't hit OK because I've already done it, but that will create a blank glyph for each of these space separated values here. So when you go down here, you see that all of these, do they show up highlighted? Yes, all of these highlighted glyphs here are down to here, from here to here, are the first group that I had there. And then past that, I created the second group by cutting and pasting and doing the same thing, and created A-fina to N-fina. So those are blank glyphs. Now, I have gone into this and created some of them. And they're really a very simple system. Let's see. Preview. There. Okay, so this is the preview window. If I type in T, nothing happens because there's no glyph defined for T. It's a syllabary. And then A, we get the glyph that I have defined for TA. If I type in TI, I get the TI glyph, but it's joined together. And what it's done there is I've got a rule in those features that says when a glyph is followed by another glyph without a space, substitute the .fina version. I hope that makes sense. I can't just type a .fina out. Anytime I put a space in and type TA again, I'm going to get a new glyph. So, without the space, check preview here. There. If I add another TA without the space, it's going to join it all together because it's using the FINA version. So what that means is I need to define each of the glyphs for these. And then if you look at these ones on the bottom here, they're the same as the ones above, but they have a little extension to the left. What that means is it will connect the previous glyph by overlapping. So it's not really all that difficult. It all depends on features. This line right here, sub at initial quote or single quote by at medial, and sub medial at medial at initial tick by at medial. Those two lines do the joining together. And what they are is okay. Wow, there's a lot to this. Just trying to explain how it works, and I don't think about it all the time. Here's the classes. Okay, so I have created these are clones. I have created a initial, which has all the basic glyphs that I'm going to create. Most of them are blank right now, so you don't see any symbol here. A copy of it called isolated. Medial, which would be the form that would appear in the middle of a word. And final, which is a copy of it. Now, I actually only need initial and medial. This initial, isolated, medial, final thing is based off the way languages like Arabic work, where everything is joined together inside of a word. And there's some code to do that, sort of joining. At the bottom down here, can you see the cursor in it? You can. Okay, the grayed out code here. It wasn't working, and I realized it was overkill. I didn't need it. I don't have special initial or isolated forms. I only really have two. Start of a word and everything after that. So I've grayed that out by ramming it out with hash mark and just wrote these two rules here. Now, if you look above that, you'll see that I've started defining the syllables here. And that's the code that, like this line here says sub TA by TA. What that means is if I type in T, nothing happens. When I type in an A, the font will go through the rules and say, oh, that matches. And it will display the TA glyph instead. So that's why when I'm here, if I type in TA, we get the TA glyph, which you can see is right here, highlighted in what they call red, but really, if it shows up on the video or not. Now, you will note that this symbol and the three after it are all identical, but rotated. That's how this is a simple syllabary. So TA is with the, I want to call it the feature of the glyph. In this case, this gap, weight there, pointed to the bottom. TU is with it to the right. TI is to the top. Sorry, TI is to the left, and TE is to the top. And the same thing happens with KA, KI, KE, KU. You can see it rotates all the way around. That is going to be true of all of the fonts that I create here. System. How is it I can drink tons of water before I start a stream, and then nothing happens? I apparently didn't drink anything, and now I get dry throat. I'm going to apologize for the coughing until it goes away. Now, I didn't just come across this as an idea. This has actually evolved for something I did before, but I thought it's worth mentioning that I live or die for graph paper. So I sit and watch TV and I make shapes on graph paper to come up with an idea for how something is going to look. And I go through a lot of graph paper doing it. Cheap. Some of the syllabary type stuff I'm looking at doing. I don't know how well that's turning. It'll turn out better on screen. But I go through reams and reams of graph paper, and I like the graph paper for consistency's sake, but also when I go to say edit this here, you'll see that my font program has a grid as well, so I can lay it out on graph paper and then come here and easily recreate it. So the idea is to basically fill in a shape for each of these sounds in sets of 4, and then go and add to the features file to make sure that they're rendered properly, and then to make sure that the spacing is correct. If I go into TA here, you will see there is a little line over to the right here. I can move it with my mouse there. That's called the right bearing sidewall or something like that. A glyph that is drawn on screen starts at the 0 line over here and goes until the right side wall. So you get the left wall and the right wall. That's the left and right part of it. So this bit to the right here determines how much space is provided before the next glyph gets drawn. The top height of what is drawn is on this line here, which is actually a little low. I should move that up. And the bottom line is drawn right here. These are in units, and what a unit is indefinable, because it's sort of a measure of scale, but how it's actually drawn in anything you type in is not necessarily entirely consistent. But for a standard English letter, let's say this was the letter A, the bottom of the A would be here, top of the A would be here, the left side would start being drawn here, the right side would end over here. If it was a P, lowercase, then the stem on the P would not go any lower than that bottom line there. If it was a lowercase or an uppercase B, lowercase b, the riser ascendant wouldn't go any higher than the top margin that's defined here, which strangely enough is very low here. I will raise that up. So each glyph that you draw is a tiny little vector drawing executed instantly every time you type. Each one of those is a vector drawing, and each one is effectively layered on top of the previous one. Is why when I go to here and I type in PHI, the next symbol, which is the fina version, remember, has that little tail off to the left, and it overlaps the previous glyph. I will go to CHI. Okay. This is the left sidewall. I've drawn it so that it overlaps that way by the same distance that I'm providing as space on the right, which is why it looks like it is. I'm not showing you the picture. Sorry, here. Which is why it looks like it's drawn as one symbol there, because it's overlapped. Hopefully that makes. So, you will note that as a rule for the language that I haven't built yet, a consonant is voiced before a front vowel. So for these 4 here, which would normally be, say, TA, TU, TI, TE, I have named them DI and DE because they're voiced there. A similar thing happens in Japanese, although I don't know Japanese. So the reality is when I go to the features file, I'm going to make sure that you can type in TI and you'll get DI, or DA and you'll get TA. I'm going to auto correct it inside of the font there with. I haven't quite got that. No, I do. Hang on just a sec. Features. If you look up here, I have lookup replace. Little block here. First line should be indented. Ready to take it. The first line says sub D by T, sub G by K. So if you type in a D, the font is going to change it to a T inside of the font, and then go do the matching in the lookups below there to figure out which glyph is going to show, and then it's going to show the correctly named glyph here. That makes sense. So the end result is, if I want to build a document using this font, I will just be able to type in Latin characters, spelling stuff out, and it will go and find the appropriate glyph and display it. And then I am going to make some individual glyphs for the logography part of this writing system. And you will again just type stuff in, but it will substitute that and find the glyph. So I know I'm going to make a glyph for Shin, SHIN. So in the features, when you type in SHIN, at the top part up here, before it looks up syllables, it will look for logograms, and it will match that instead, and it will not match it that. In theory, that's how it's supposed to work. I haven't actually done this on this font. I don't have a test to see if it works, but it should. So I'm just going to go and start building glyphs. And okay, so I don't know how clear it is, but here is the 0 line. And here is the top line. And if I go to another glyph, you'll go see I'm going right to that top line. 0, 0, and 750. So it's a square. So if I go to, am I on there? Not the one I was on, but it's the one I meant to be on. I will draw a square, call a rectangle, 3 wide, and down to the base. Draw another one, 750, base, another one down. This is why I'm working in simple shape. So much easier. Just have it snap the grid. Obviously, lots of writing systems not completely square. That. Okay, we highlight all that. We hit Control F10, and it joins it all together. So it's now just one simple shape. Snaps the grid like that. Okay, copy, back here. Now, before I carry on, you will note that over here is SHA that I built. Down here is SHA Fina. The font program has automatically put that in there. So that saves me some time in this case. I'll still have to go add stuff to it, but it puts it in there as a reference to this one. If I make a change to SHA, it will change it down there automatically. So I come over here and I Control V, and you'll see it's pasted it in exactly the way I want, but I want to rotate it. So transform, rotate 90 degrees. There. Now, I have to set the right bearing to 3 grid squares past it so it's consistent. And I just realized I forgot to say it. Well, it's very important to always set the spacing with every glyph you make. Don't forget, because suddenly you'll find that you forgot it somewhere, and there's a whole pile of glyphs that you're working on. I've got at least one font Egyptian hieroglyphics that I haven't quite finished yet, and it's got thousands and thousands of entries in it. So if I screw the spacing up on that, it can be hours checking each glyph to make sure the spacing is right. Much better to do it the first time around. Okay, so we're going to go in here, Control V, and unfortunately I can't transform, rotate. Well, I can do 180, and then Tools, Transform 90. Can't go the other way. So for a following eye, the glyph is rotated to the right like that, or the left like that. For an E, Control V, transform 180. It's pointing up. So now I should have pointing down for A, pointing left for I, pointing up for E, and pointing right for U. And there is no O. And that's that glyph done. Now, you'll see that I have SHA here, and I have not put a tail on it. If I go to Features and type in TASHA, oh, pilot. Oh no, I have to add entries. Just a second. I have to put in rule for that, saying sub the features thing. There. Sub SHA. I'll just put that one rule in there and show you. When I go up here, see it's drawn it without the tail. I go back to here, down to here, and remember I said that the FINA version is a reference to the original. I'm now going to break that by going Glyph, Decompose. Now I can edit this if I want. And I'm going to add a tail onto the side here and overlap it. And then overlap it just a little bit more left like that, a few pixels. And then Control A, Control 10, it's joined together. Now, when you look at preview, you will see it's joined together. Hello there, person. I will not even attempt to try and come up with a what got me into conlanging. I started off, my first conlang was an effort with a friend of mine in high school. This would have been 1975, 1976, probably. We came across a slang spoken in Ireland by the Tinkers called Shelta or Sheltatari. And it was based on Romani, Gypsy, Irish, and English. And we thought it was really cool. It was really, really obscure. It was sort of a thieves' cant after a fashion. I mean, I don't want to insult the gypsies, but it was used by the criminal element as well as the Romani. Not say gypsy, Romani. Apologize to anybody who's Rom. It was used beyond just the Romani community. So it had English in it. So you would be going along and there would be all this strange foreign slang and language and everything else. And then there would be an English word in the middle of it. And it looked really kind of distressing to us, me and my friend Arno. So we decided that we would pull the English out of it and replace it with Irish. Now, neither of us happened to speak any Irish Gaelic, so that meant we had to go and learn about Irish Gaelic phonetics. And then we had to figure out how the Shelta worked. What was the book called? It's called The Secret Languages of Ireland by Stewart, I think, R.A. Stewart. I could have that wrong. I've got a copy of it somewhere on my bookshelf. Anyway, that was what we did. We evolved a, I don't know, a couple of 100-page document of vocabulary and grammar and stuff that was based on Shelta, but with the English elements removed and Irish pattern grammar and vocabulary replacing, and the ROM elements stayed the same. Where we had to pick a word between Irish and Romany, we would keep the Romany word. And that was probably the first thing that got me into it, was doing that. Then when I went to university, I was going to be a history major, and I discovered that linguistics was a thing you could take. You could actually study that stuff. They taught it at university. I had not been warned. I had seen a textbook for it in my high school library, and my friend Arno and I basically absorbed the whole thing. But it didn't really occur to me that you could take linguistics. So I took linguistics as a major. I never got my degree. I burnt out after 3.5 years, but, well, 3 years. I always wanted to go back, but I never did. So I have a background in linguistics from studying it, but no formal qualification. Fast forward quite a while, and I started thinking about conlanging without knowing the term conlanging, and started working on building a language. And I have a whole world building project that I want to do. And I thought, if I'm going to do that, then I should create a writing system so that I can put it on the maps. And so I started looking into how you make font, and started with Typelite software, which is free, then went to Type, which was paid, but not that much. And then got an opportunity to get FontLab Studio 5.1 for a lot of money, but a lot cheaper than it was regularly. It's regularly like $500-600 US. And then I upgraded again from 5.1 to 7 because I was on the Mac at that time, and you had to upgrade it if you want to keep using it, because they switched to 30-bit. So now I'm on Windows, but I'm using FontLab Studio 7. So do I have my background picture here? I do not. Figures. I have an image. Bring it up on screen here. I got to be able to find it. And okay, no, that's the beginning. I have okay, somewhere here I have a version of this, but I don't know where it is. And I normally have it available on screen, but here I don't. I'll have to find it. I'll have it prepared so I can show it anyway. All it is showing off one of my other fonts, which I have more of the language designed for. I'm building very slowly, building a Semitic triconsonantal language, like Arabic or Hebrew, based kind of on ancient Akkadian and Egyptian, but then ignoring all that and doing my own stuff after that. So the phonology kind of comes from some of the structure and stuff. I'm not trying to make historical. Ashwadi looks very Arabic. It's based on the shapes of Kufic Arabic, and has sort of evolved away from, well, been deliberately evolved. But that's how I got into conlagging, and that's what I'm doing now. And now I'm trying to provide information on how you go about building a font, because I think it's fascinating, first off, and second, basically because I find when I'm creating a design document for a writing system or for a language, a constructed language, it helps to me if I have a writing system that I can put my words in. It sort of keeps me in the picture with it there. Let me back to my file folder here. Here is a sample picture of what my Ashwadi conscript looks like. I don't even remember what this says, but no, I don't even remember what it says. It's evolved a little bit since this too, I think, but not much. And it started off being very Arabic, and kind of I wanted to move it away from that. And hopefully now somebody who reads Arabic won't look at this and say, what the hell does that say? It doesn't make any sense. It's written left to right, well, not right to left. So anyway, that is Ashwadi. It's very slow to build a Semitic style language. It's a completely different mindset, and since I don't speak here Hebrew or Arabic, that's a bit of a hindrance as well. So I'm trying to bend my mind around it. Now. Again, we decompose. Add a shape that overlaps. We grab the cursor to move this just a little left so that we don't end up with overlap that shows up right font. Oh, this is where I have problems with this. That I want to select this whole shape like that, but got the point there. Drag that, select that, drag it out of the way, take that point, which I will then drag back. What I want to do is copy and put it back in place. Join it up. There. Broken. Okay, so there. That one has its overlap. Not have its right pair. Back and check this one. Sure. No, it doesn't have its right bearing set either. I'm talking too much. And this one here, I can now decompose, glyph, decompose, control paste, drag it so it overlaps. Now, when you create a glyph in a font program, it has a direction. I don't know if it's visible, but there's a little arrow there pointing down, which means that this is drawn this way. I'm back. This one is drawn the other way. So when you overlap it like that, you end up with this white space that lets you know that these are not going to smoothly meld together until you change the direction of one. So I will reverse contour. Now when I highlight this and hit Control F10, it will join it together. It wouldn't have done it otherwise. It would have gap. And that's margin. What? Margin. Down here. Glyph. Decompose. B. Overlap. And this one, the directions are correct, so it will overlap properly. Highlight it, Control F10, and there. So that one's done. Now, I started by coloring this red, and I'm going to color all the ones that I've done red, red, red. Because it doesn't change anything to do with the glyphs themselves. Just a way of highlighting it inside of the program to say, hey, I've done those. Then I can see the holes a little bit better as I go along. The original version of this, well, 5.1, had really noticeable colors. These are so pastel, it's really kind of annoying. Okay, now I need to pick a different glyph. I think I'm going to relate so that with 3 lines like that, I'm going to take that shape, copy it, come to sa, paste it in there, set the right margin before I forget about it, and then just add a line so that there's some sort of relationship between them. That is a good mnemonic for remembering what's what. Add that in there. Sorry, select this one. Click this one, glyph, decompose, Control A, Control F10, and boom, they're joined together. So now when you look at it, that is sha, that is sa. Now I don't know how many of those internal relationships I can get. You will note that all of these are based on a 5x5 grid. Okay, for what that's. So we go in here, Control A, Control Copy, go to U, Control B, set right margin, go to Tools, Transform, Rotate 90. Now it faces that way. Control Copy, go here, go to here, Control B, Tools, Transform. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut for this. Now it's up there, set the right margin. Oh, I'll copy here, there, paste, set the right margin, and Tools, Transform, Rotate 90. Now, these 4 symbols have been defined here to here, and they've been defined by default down below there all as reference these. We don't have the script in the features file yet, though. So go to do this bit by bit. We'll go to features, and up top here, type sub ZH by S8. Oh, we will not. Ooh, how do we do that? We just do sub Z by S. Take care of itself. We go down here and we finish the SHA one. Sub S8I, SI. Oh, no, it's ZH. Sub S8E is ZHE. Sub S8U by U. SA by A. Sub ZI by I by ZI. E ZE. SU SU. file. Now, go to here. G, Z. It will draw the first G, S-H-I properly. In the language that I'm going to build, that would actually be Gize, because for front vowel, but it doesn't join it yet because back here, I haven't put the joins in down below here. So we're going to go glyph, decompose each of these. So program has some irritating things. Window, where is it? Docking, merge window. There, it's back. I haven't figured out how to turn off the ability to have it drag free again. Irritates me. Glyph, decompose. Again, no shortcut. Everything I do, no shortcut. Really frustrating. Glyph, decompose. But they have like shortcuts for things that I never need to touch. Tons of them. Okay. Back to the first one here and make another one of these. Fails. Or select. Move it just a little bit to the left and highlight it. Copy. Move it to there. Select all that. Enough to have an overlap and close it there. Here. It did it again. Window. Docking. Merge window. Oh, freaking irritating. I don't know what's causing. Now, see, this one has the highlighting wrong. First, first the contour of it. But right here, here, B, over, same thing. Contour, highlight, copy, or solid, whatever I want. And this works. And I haven't figured out why it sometimes reverses the direction. But now if we go back to preview, you'll see that it's got the connection. Second glyph, the finer. Hello there, S Grant 42. How you doing today? Okay. Right. And we fixed all of those so we can change the highlighting on them to red. Oh, I just got an output. There's be no problem there. There. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Program is haunted. Okay, so I highlighted those. Yep. Okay. Didn't do these. Like I said, the color doesn't make any difference. Background color. It just helps me sort what I've worked on and what I haven't. Once I have it, I actually kind of go through color phases. So once I have it all working and I have a glyph for every symbol, I will change these all to green. And there's no logic. And I will use red to highlight ones that have problems. Problem getting that same error. regular. Highlight goes away. I think that would be a problem. Oh, I haven't defined that, have I? Okay. Oh no, right there. I type in the producer. Okay. You don't see my error file. Features. This is right below it. There's the features and there's the output. Right. Presume the program is going through periodically and scanning each of the glyphs, looking for problems, reporting that, but I don't see an apparent problem. So I'm going to basically ignore it. So I need another shape. I go over to my graph paper, a shape somewhere about 40 sheets here, so it shouldn't be too hard. Use that. Not use that. Use that. Not use that. We're gonna go with similar to the other ones here. Not quite the same. So 3 across 750. 2, 0. That. Highlight all, Control A, and boom, one shape. So if I use that, it should be similar to K, but not the same. Not the same as the others, so that's good. But I've got the orientation the way I would want it. Hopefully going to feel the same way to people. The main feature being this loop is on the bottom left. So click, copy. Got to make sure these feel right. It's over here. And it's going to have to rotate a couple times. Tool. Transform. Rotate 180. Tools, transform. Rotate 90. Now when I go back here, that there is the same thing, but pointed to the left should be the eye. And neither of those has the right margin. It's like an alarm. Check whether that's the right margin. Need hours long headache for it. There's no way to set a default margin that I've been able. Okay, so again, Control A, copy here, here, right margin, and tools, transform, rotate 90 degrees. Put it in. there. AU, yes. So this is like the glyph for K with an extra bar in there. Hopefully forgivable, not cause too much confusion. And one here, Control A, copy. Here, go to E, place, tools, rotate. No, tools, 480. There, that's what I was. Margin. Probably is a way to right time. So now we have that, 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 that. Those four are fine. Set the margin on them, so we'll select here, lift, pose. Nice thing about this system is it's not going to require too many glyphs. Because I'm able to change the orientation of a glyph to alter its meaning, I only have to develop 1/4 of the number I would make otherwise. And I have 16 consonants? Less than that, actually. Should still work. Okay, I'm gonna the right margin. I know it seems repetitive to keep going from each one to each. Actually, the routine best for one change in order on everything. Make sure it's done on everything. Then go and do the next set of changes. Why the color coding thing is good. And detect the problem, realize I'm going to have to make 30 changes in something, and then just go and highlight the glyphs. You're going to have that problem color all ever. Now, these all joining tail. I really should just make, save somewhere, copy it. Fix error, check there to make sure it overlaps. Otherwise, what happens when you join all this is when you display the font, there could be a minute little line that's visible there. So it's producing multiple errors. A, F. With T. Hate it when unpredictable things happen. Okay, going to go to A. Make sure that the margin is set 0. Put red. Go color it green. Start with S. Same thing, set 0. Probably not a factor at all. But I have to do all this anyway. And Z. All of them. You know how pastel these colors are? They're really annoying. If you don't see the bar here, already overlapped. 0. That's there. So I've done this out. Okay. Sorry, it's a dull, but have it do that again. So doc merge window. Figure out where you're going to do. See, what I'm doing this for is really just to be thorough. When you type one of these characters, it will not advance the cursor. That actually not have been advanced or save vowel. So we're going to highlight that and E, U, green, go to E. 50 it is. I 750. Good. U 50. Good. Okay, now B we did. C we did not. Because you're not going to ever be typing in an individual letter, just setting the margins to 0. So that if for some other reason script off will not advance anything. For instance, if there's a character I'm not using, X or Q, and you could still type one in and nothing will happen. Whereas if I left the spacing the way it is, the blank glyph there, it would still advance spacing even though it didn't draw any glyph. Okay. You can see that what it's done is use default values based on its expectation of character in Latin, which is assuming a bit, in my opinion. I would rather it had a default stuck to O stay. So J, I'll go green. Yeah. Oh. Oh no, we don't have an O. So I would already have a vowel part of English. That more or less English has you. Right. Green. Building a font, awful lot of stupid little grunt. Now, of course, I'm not actually building font. I mean, it will be a font. I'm building an entire writing system. There are no rules. Okay. I'm building them. Um, they, I can make it work any way I want, really. I kind of get this idea in my brain, and then wipe that out. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually going to butcher this. If I come back to browser, load up this, you'll see that for many of these, not all, because not all of them have it, if the consonant is before a front vowel, I've voiced it. If it isn't, if it's for a low vowel or a back, the only back vowel, U, it stays unvoiced. I think I'm going to shorten this system a little by doing the same thing here with RA and LA. And make it so that either it's LA and LU and RE and RI, or the other way around. No particular reason. I just thought that would be kind of cool to do. Won't do it with Y and W. Yeah, so if we make that, well, this is the text document. Can't do it. Not a text document. It's a HTML document. But I'm going to make it so that we don't have RE and RI. We don't have LA and U. The LE and LI. That means I'm going to go and color all green. 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 Save. Gain. Error. Only with K now. Is sure why. Now there isn't. It might be that is happening because these are blank, and it's just having fits over the fact that there actually isn't a constant. In which case, what I can do is copy the consonant plus A version up to here, and if you hit the letter T, it will draw TA, and if you hit TI instead, it will draw TI. That might solve that problem. I really don't know what's causing weird thing. It's only happening with certain letters. I have many letters defined here. Nothing differentiates C other than lookup, but any errors C in there. Could go in here, put tick. Not including tick in there. The tick means replace the sign before it. But if you leave it out, it works. Oh, that problem would be say that pops up the same error. Okay, so we were going through and getting rid of RI, RE, replacing them with LI, LE. So what I'm going to do is go and delete all of the L's entirely. Delete. And then go through and see that it got it. Producing that weird error. Okay, and we are going to rename this glyph. Rename to LI. Rename glyph LE. Now we have the RA, LI, LE, RU sequence, these four here. And something for them. We'll end up moving stuff eventually. Okay. RA. To draw. Shape. Screen a bit. Awfully large. There. 7. All my glyphs are exactly the same size. I chose a really stupidly simple shape. Slide it all, control left hand to join it together. And I have here. Yep. Now, I'm being extremely precise here, but I don't really. It's not going to be real different when you're talking about something that, by the time it's drawn on screen is going to be tiny. I'm going to check the look. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, no. Page. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. So I'm streaming here. I have no idea how many people. It is so weird. YouTube is so advanced over Twitch in a lot of ways. And in some ways, it's just lacking some essential things. Like on Twitch, I would have a screen that I can pop up that says, "Oh, there's 2 people watching." Cool, then I'd know. But I don't have that here. It just doesn't exist, and it's really kind of strange. And YouTube itself doesn't provide the tool. That matter, I'm live on YouTube. It's streaming. It says streaming and recording, but doesn't show it anywhere. Screen on my phone. It's really weird. Let's take a look. Studio. Does it show anything? It does not. It was the last video, but nothing to do with live. Content. Nope. Nada. Okay. Go to YouTube itself. Oh, that's not it. Oh, I see. Google wants to take over the world by denying me actually going to things. Okay, well, that's simple. That says there's nobody there. Hey. But, okay, and with much lag. A bit of lag. Okay, I'll turn that off so there isn't a echo or feedback or anything like that. Okay, so that would be Did do it again. I have a limited amount of screen space here, even with you talking. Merge windows. And again, no shortcut. That would be too big. That would be a problem. Right down the bottom. There. There. That's why it's so odd. That would be RA. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Sure. RA. So come over here to features. Features. Labeled them. Here. Subrule of RA by A. So put it all in sub L E. Oh, R E. U. Here. Sub L. You're so freaking powerful. Oh, 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 oh. I have to go to my class and here I do. Yes. So you can see there's multiple errors here because there's things missing. So because I deleted, we go down here and we say LA and LU need to be removed from the text down here. So it should be RALIRULE. And duplicates in. So now when I click off of initial, it'll say there's 61 there. When I go to final, I'm going to have the same problem. And the R's. RA LI RU LE, and take out the LAs entirely. We've combined them. When we're done that, tab off final, it should have 61. Medial, same thing. RA LI RU LE, take out the LAs in their entirety. Boom. And tab off. Now it's 61, so there won't be any problem there. I will note that when you're making something like this, it's actually good to have a text editor and save your classes off into a separate file so that you can just cut and paste them and make your changes in a text editor, because it's a little awkward to see on this sometimes. RALILELA. RALILERU. Right. So those just need to go. Boom. This one here, same thing. We have RALILERU and the on. When I tab off, that should be at 61 there. So there's no errors there. Wipe out. Oh, go back to preview. Produce no errors preview. So that should all be working. Now we can just cut and paste to the bit here. So Control A, Control Copy here. Control B, right bearing, and Tools, Transform, Rotate 3. Be right. Set the right bearing on this one. Not. For first order. It will point up, so I can just go Tools, Transform, Rotate 180. It's good. Oh, ding. Oh, it is good. Okay. LI, the left, so we're going to have to go Tools, Transform, Rotate 180, Tools, Transform, Rotate right margin. Go here. These four should now be fine, so I can color green. Go and these four have tails. To do that, we have to decompose each of them. We can do it from here. Lift, close layer. Oh, I can. Good. Work. Did. Okay. Now we want to add the tail onto this. Again, I made a tail and saved it. Cut, paste, up, blue. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. Go find random driving. Gotta figure that out. Docking, merge windows. I want a way to lock the friggin' windows there, and I want a way to get rid of the sketchboard. Don't use it. That seems to be fixed. Okay, I'm going to just go borrow lowercase a, tail in there. That out. Here, these. That first tail. Overlap it. Select everything. Shift F10. Side. Here. Control B. Over. A. Control N to join it. It is correct. The one that's going to be incorrect too. And there. For it is too high and built is too high. One. Thing. You. Here to A. That down there. Then highlight it. I often make a spare glyph that I'm not going to use at all. That is just a placeholder for shape. Saves time. This could actually be 2 here. Got to reverse the correct. Like first light and first and so right margin. Terrible about that. Sticky on the monitor says that. Okay, so those four check margin. Oop, so much work. Ah! Window, docking, merge off window. And that's driving me nuts. They they added features that I don't think improve anything. It's like they added features because they could, and they break some of the conventions. Like on this big window here, the close button is X top there, but on the smaller sub windows, it's an on the top left, like it would be on a Mac. And I know the software was made on the Mac first and then came to Windows, but yeah. Oh, we have LA Fina there, which we do not need. Need this rename. LI. Huh? Oh, it can't just here and I deleted them. Ah, made it change to the way I was doing things. Those four now should be li dot fine. This should be renamed E. Okay, so we have H M N E F Y W do. There is actually a glyph for everything. It'll get more complex after that. It's actually a glyph. Okay. Oh, but keep no idea. Well, my YouTube interface now says there's a person out there. So, hello, the person. Okay. So now we need another shape. Haven't used, and hopefully something. It's when I get to the point that I decide I want to move a shape change. I've used it 4 times. And when I look at RA, not like it. Go to preview. We put R in there. We have okay. Here, type in drop. You see that? Say oh, and just because I haven't actually used 3 examples, or if I put in KI after that, oh, you can see that ZE has a spacing. Oh, go. This is why I keep harping about checking spacing on stuff here. That'll fix itself. See here. So that means that to be thorough, I should check the other one, same series. I would get. Now you can find out which ones are wrong by typing stuff in preview. That's really not a very good way to do it. Better to avoid it entirely by checking everything the first time. I have completely failed. All 4 glyphs. That would be right. Okay. Okay. Now you'll note too, I haven't actually produced a font. I have all of the elements inside of the font software, but I haven't actually created a font column. I basically work inside the font software all the time until I figure out the thing that I want to the way I want it to work, and then I'll issue it as a font shot. A little mark there. Probably can't see anything. All lined up perfectly. No break. So okay, I'm getting these error messages. See them in the window in the top right there. We have a problem with the component S, Glyph EZE regular. Now, when I go back here and look at EZE regular, that's the one I was looking at. I don't see a problem anywhere. I have no idea what the problem could possibly be. If I go up here and type in that doesn't. Oh, okay, maybe that's it. If I go back here, we don't have a SAW series find all features. Here, so that'll help. E A E E E E. Of course, I've changed that probably for that. Should save file SE. That is correct. See if that turns up in the output. Maybe the problem is that I have stuff here with a FINA fine for it, but no code to cover it. So having a problem with those. Sure. See, T is there. K is there. S is there. SHA, there. PSA, there. CHA is there. RA and L there. Good. So those are all covered now. Should be. Okay, I'm gonna make one that's a little more complex. Just right. Yeah, little more. Okay, so here to the 750 mark, 3 high. There, there, up, snap to features on are a little weird too. Okay, now we're gonna join this together, tear it apart. Okay, so I want a curve that runs there up to here. Actually, two. We actually need that right. That the line tool here. Drop curve up here. Broken there. From here, here, to here. Here. Close shape again, but now I want to curve to just build a shape. Rid of these. Oh, yeah. Curve. These are Bezier curve. So this curve of that. There, that's the shape I want. So highlight. Wait, shape. There. Go 4x4 and 2x2. Yeah. Okay. That there. Will be tools form font there. Highlight. Hold on. See if I can find it. Yeah. Here. Grid. But that is now the A. Here. Control A. Control copy to here. B tools form 90 pitfall. B side bearing. Now these are perfect squares. Oh, altitude transform. Rotate 80. Copy. Later. There. That would be my place. Paste. Immediate shape. I forgot here. Oh, here. Oh, we're good. Those can all be green. So here we have all four. Lift, close layer. Or they were referenced as the ones that I drew. Now they're separate. That's right. Margin. All four. Got along the way. Okay. Go back here. Oh, back A. Saves a little bit. A. Yep. Later. Highlight it. Fine. Yes, I could actually move this to here. Then copy. First contour. You try and do this and it does some weird thing. Crop the shape out. I'm cutting and pasting sometimes browse here. Case you reverse contour and hit fine. Control save. So those four can go green, green. Come over here. Oh, I forgot to shift the screen. Sorry, you were looking at the feature. Here's what I've added. This shape here. Green. This shape here. So done. I added that. I pasted it into those four there. Sorry about that. Back to the features file, which is actually hub FA hub E hub E B 2 2 here B tick F. Save. Now where? So I should be able to put in FAEI. Play both of those joined together. A. Do it continuously forever. But a new word will be separated. There won't be the join mark there. Bothering that whole thing. Okay. So now we'll go back to font. And I mean, I'm not sure I'm pleased with the shape of this, but I might want to go back through it and say slightly round all the corners on the outside edge. For instance, that might be a thing I want to do. I might want to shuffle some of these around because I decide I don't like it at all or where it is. We are going to use that, but first, yeah. So I'm really not sure what I'm doing with all of this here. I might that. Oh, did I pick the right thing here? PA, yes. Okay, so PA, where is 0? I knew there was something wrong with this shape. Couldn't figure out what it was. I've got highlight all that, find it, and this, put up 3. That, this one back, and we have that margin. Now with a 5x5 grid, by which I mean that each of these 3 grids here is one square in my mental grid. That's just a matter of scaling. Take a look at it. But the shapes are all 3x3. So with a 5x5 grid and a requirement that they all be contiguous somehow, I have like tons of shapes I could use. So I may end up replacing some of these with other shapes to see if I can fix it so that it's easier to remember what each one is. I don't know if here shape I like, but whether or not it's a good choice for P. Okay. BU will be at the right margin. Tool, transform, rotate 90 degrees. So will be the right margin. These are being rotated much like symbols in writing system made for it. It apparently works quite well. I like the idea. 180. Fast. There. Done. Transform, rotate 180. Tools, transform, rotate 90. There. That should all be good on all four of those. Other glyph added. We come down here, have to, we got to compose first. It's automatically creating references down as I've defined a different class. And it's funny because I've never noticed that before because I've never defined a class. So all those are references. If I made a change to PA at the top there, it would change it. It would reflect the change on PA.FINA at the bottom until I decompose. When I decompose, it's no longer a reference. Now I can go in here and set the margin. Good. Each of these. Sure, there is probably a way. The margin by default. Figured that out. All of my experience stuff been self-taught. Right? That's a reference. Drag that there. Then we're going to copy it. Go ahead. Good. You see reverse contour. Go ahead. So what they were weird. Okay. Be reversed. There is no logic to this. There is something. It is. Those four. File. Say. Okay. So now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 symbols. I've got more than enough, so it's a matter of picking which ones I want to use, probably. Or moving. Okay. thing about a syllabary usually is you have, like, this will end up with like 90 symbols. Something. I've reduced it a little bit, 86. If they're all different, it's a major barrier to reading, to learn how to read them. If they're differentiated by shape, but also orientation, tell you which vowel is, like I'm doing here, then suddenly you only have to learn like 15 shapes and learn to recognize the same shape at different angles, and you're gold. Everything's working. So on the surface, it might look like all those look the same, and they do kind of, but I actually think it might be an effective enough system. It might be a reasonable system, something that you could learn to read. Not sure. I'll have to play with it, see if I can get used to reading it. When I've been playing with my Ashwadi script or any of the others I get pretty used to it. And I'm a little out of practice with Ashwadi right now because I've been doing other things. But when I've been working with it, creating the language, I get to the point where I can read it pretty easily. And that's very satisfying. Now, I do need one for the vowels, don't I? Initial vowel way up here. Rid of that. Create it, but rid of that. An initial vowel is going to have its own symbol. It's going to operate on the same. So I'm going to try. Before I do that, I'm going to go look at one of the symbols I use. Maybe I'd rather use that. Specifically, I'm looking at this here. The one that I was about to draw looks like this, but instead of that bar being there, it's over here. And that's fine. I don't mind that. It is kind of similar to, have I used it yet? Actually, I haven't. Maybe I will keep those there. Take. Okay. So the box tool, back to the 0, 0, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, please. Why I plot this out on graph paper. Yeah. I know it's all going to fit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There. And there. Last one had the bar down the center. I'm going to put one on either side. See how that looks. All of the fonts that I have made are iterative. Come up with an idea, I try it out, I see what I think, then I start endless minute changes. And I would love to be able to just create one that works. That's it. But that never seems to happen. Okay, that would be very reminiscent of A, so easy to remember. That would be the one for vowels. To the line. really matter. Matters to me. The rest of it, yeah. Okay. Control, copy. To here. You. That. 20 degrees. Right. R. Wish there was a shortcut for the tools transform rotate 90 command, but there isn't. I see it the other side there. So tool rotate 180, tool 90 to get 70. That's bar. Go here. Join it to the friggin' interface again. Docking window. Giving me seriously insane. Control B. No reason why I can see it should be happening. I don't know what weird ass command there is that is causing. Tools, transform, or rotate 80. And there we should have pointed down, right, pointed up, pointed left. Vowels are now. So if I go to preview, type in A H I, it joins it properly. Although second glyph extra wide. A it isn't. Okay. The 750 mark, I guess it's just that the original bar along the bottom. Huh. Anyway, it is the correct proportion. Now I have to go back down here. That. Over here. Oh, yeah, go back. That. Decompose. Decompose. A fina already had a shape in it, so I guess it didn't change it. That's weird. Oh, Control V. That there for a while. I'll just first contour. Two, highlight everything. 10. Right. Side. Wall. Aaron. V. Over. No. Control Z. Line there. Down there. Now we can. You're not the right screen. Wow. Easy to forget where I am. There. Join that. Window. Docking. Merge. Have to find the command to prevent it from undocking. Really, really, really. Got to be some way in there to say this window stays docked at all times. Over engineered. What am I doing? Reversing. On. Add. That's right. Margin. Got the last one. Mattering too much. Two. Did. Check the other one too. It's done. Now I need to up here. The shape. Down here. this. Add it in. There. Back here. Now I have an extra. So if we go to preview, type in an initial A, HI, the final A, I can now have diphthong. Even planned on that. Can't, but I can. I don't have Y. Y. Okay, back to font. These can now be highlighted in green as being completed. Let's scan those which are already. So now need H, M, and N, Y, and W. Corresponding final version. And this is done for its initial run. Need to do more stuff than that. This is the syllabary part of the Logosyllabary thing. I'm going to add some symbols that are blocks in the 5x5 space here, but in a different design. Very, very Chinese or Japanese looking, very kanji like. I'm not that original. But I'm going to create those and add them in as well, so that there's some visual variety in writing this stuff. And like in many logographies, if there is a syllabic function, then people will use that, even though if it doesn't actually make sense quite. Instead of spelling stuff out, if there's a simpler way to do it in a shorter form, people will do it that way. In a lot of cases, anyway. Happened in cuneiform, happened in Egyptian, probably happened in Abjad, like that too. Medieval Latin had special forms that were TIO with a line over it, to imply, or TI with a line over it to imply TION, something like that, because they wrote it so often, it occurred so much that they came up with short forms to save space. Papyrus, parchment that they were in the Middle Ages. Okay, we need their shape haven't used yet. Okay. Oh. I have more of these. I don't know. There's that is. Oh, sample. There's right. Okay. Lots and lots and lots of sheets of graph paper with lines drawn. Probably about 30 of them so far. Yes. Curiously enough, when you're building stuff in a 5x5 grid like this, everything can be rotated 4 ways except for one symbol that only works in 2. There's no real significance to that. I don't have a need for it per se. Probably going to use one version of it for the final N glyph that I intend to find it down here. Don't know if I need the other. To find that right now while I think about it. Then the decision is made. 0, 3, 2, there. That shape there, when it's combined, only has two orientations. It's the only one I've come across that only has two orientations. I don't think that's the symbol I'm going to use, but I thought I would draw it out so that it was there and visually present. Go to do that makes any sense. Here, there. Oh, it says there's two people out there now. Hello, two people. Um, oh, YouTube is very primitive for streaming by comparison to Twitch. I have to say, I know I've got lots to learn. Sure, I do. But it's got some stuff to be done still. Make it streamer friendly, really. Now I know Ludwig just moved from Twitch to YouTube. He has plans to build an extension to YouTube that will provide a lot of functionality YouTube is missing. But so see what he can produce. Power to him. Okay, what other shape are you going to use? Okay. 0, 0. Cross T. You're going to join stuff together. It's good to use a little over. Points are right on top of it. That's a matter of what software can detect and find stuff. Got it. Here it's all lined up. No, clear two down, and we can't have that. The rest of it, oh, that one now. Yeah, we're getting overly picky. These are fractions, fractions of a fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a millimeter difference by the time it's flip. Like I wouldn't know it anywhere else in life, so probably not. Okay, the right side bearing. Pull A. Back up to here. Bring this back in again. Somebody. My video will back up against the wall and force them to explain themselves. No, Control Z. Not need this. Control A. Control V. The right sidebar. Cool. Very repetitive. Sorry. That way. To here. Back up again. Fucking bridge window. And it's not like I could just hit the W key and it redoes it either. I have to go through the menu each. And somehow it's separating it whenever I click on this. And why the hell should it be doing that? Doesn't make any sense. Now, when I think about it, that looks wrong. That, to me, looks like it's pointing up rather than having this feature on the bottom. Maybe I want to make that Control A, Control Copy. 5, that. That. WI. No, WE. Control A, Control V. That A would be this. Transform 80. So wa, we, a. This one flips 80. We woo. So the right side. Slide those 4 in green. Down to these. Yeah. Pose. Also not a feature. Well, I'm taking advantage of it this time, but normally not a feature I want. Right sidebar on all 4. Oh, apparently I have somebody else out there. Hello. I have an audience. If you have any questions, please let me know. There. All 4 side margins are set. Now, extension. In this case, you can actually drag it. See? Hit it when it's right on the bar there. Do it that. Yeah. The damn point. You. It's straight. And you're not right. You are on. Okay. Here. Over. That. That. Left. Not. Like. Fine. Thing here. Very, very repetitive. Till I got into doing this, I had no idea how much work went on or give it a second thought. And I mean, I'm building really simple crap. Really isn't no artwork to it. I have built more complex stuff, but even then, I'm a complete amateur when it comes to real font building. I haven't tried building like a Latin alphabet font count anything. Should try that. But I like the process. Really like the process of building. Getting Shift. Oh, okay. I don't even know what that interface is. From there to here. Flag. That's what I wanted. Trying to let me add a note. Need to add it. Save. Now we have to go back over to the features. And substate. Sub W A. Sub W A. Sub W. Sub W. Sub W E. W E. Sub W. W U. W U. Boom. In Japanese, I believe WU is redundant and it's just pronounced U. WO is redundant and it's just pronounced O, but they still write it out somehow. Not sure. I'll have to, when I get around to actually building a language for this, I will have to figure out if I want to do similar things. Okay, so that's saved, filed. I really wish their error message gave you more messages too. There is another. Huh. Okay, back to here. Oh. Okay, it has been 2.5 hours. I am going to take a short break. Out there right anyway. I mean, it's showing two people, but the interface is showing. So I am going to take a short break and go use the facilities and all that sort of stuff. Um, so I will be back in a few minutes. Um, carry on with this. I'm almost done the basic part. I will be building the whole font. It's probably going to take more than streaming session. So I will build this. Try and get the system roughed in here and at least one logogram set up and programmed properly to see how it looks. And then the next stream I will finish it off, test that. And when I'm done, I'm gonna, post links for it onto Patreon. People can down or at least pick it apart, and you can emulate it. You substitute your own Glyphs there. Anyway, break time here. I got to stretch my legs, go walk around the apartment or something, and go use facilities and make another cup of coffee. Back in a minute. I don't think I actually have a break graphic. Why? Let me see. Okay, back. Sorry about the delay there. Okay. Want to do Y next, and honestly, I think it should probably be related to this one here, but part. Copy IA B. Select the box. Center. Nothing. About no. There. Can't do it. No, it will not. That. Respond. Try to control thing. Yeah. No, that. There. By that. Yeah, there. That. Completely. Back. Yeah. Back to where it was. Right. Good. Oh, take that as there. The whole thing. First contour. Holy yeah. It's over here. I have two holes. So the reason that you have to reverse the contour on things are all technically supposed to be drawn be clockwise, but when it's a shape inside a shape like this, you have to reverse it. Uh, the font that all it don't, then it'll simply look like bigger shape. Here, margin over, play, control copy, D, margin over, tools, transform, rotate trees. Margin, tools, transform, rotate 80. And D, margin over, tools, transform 80, tools, transform 90. There is a free transform, but trying to get it to line up perfect. Okay, those four should be fine. Green. Here's these. Green thing that I go here and go Glyph. This one up. Margin over. Fail. here. Margin for fail. Happen. 10. Fail. Process. 10. Fail. Bridge extra. Find it. Here. These 4 can mark them green. No. None of them. One. That. That. Okay. So those 4 are saved. Um. Okay. Ah. Well, from 250 side 3. Okay. That's a different way. Cursor. First con. Now it's a hollow square. Margin. Then uh, right. I like to work the logic out. B here 2 there, right. Margin tools transform rotate 90 degrees. These margin 70 degrees. Tools transform 80. Tools 90. Tools form 180. Those 4 should be correct margin. Here, this they're not. Oh, on it there and not up top. Like B, A, margin, up space. U, take B, Margin. Spot. Okay. So that. Margin. E. 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 Margin. Those four should be correct. So now I only need M and N. We can get into fancier stuff. Requires serious. So I have to observe that my third visit to YouTube has been a remarkable failure as far as audience. You have two chat messages. Count them. Uh, Not a response. Probably my fault. Okay. Another mnemonic. We're going to cheat. Yeah. I do this a lot. Make it easier on me to learn how to read the using shapes that suggest something to me already. So shape is going to be vaguely M-like. Right? Weird sort of capital M might have evolved. That'll make it easy for me to remember. Read. Yeah, I got that. I had highlighted if that Control A, Control copy up to here. Control V, the right margin. Rotate 270 degrees. Tools transform 80. Tools transform 90. There. V E. Sorry. M I. B. Right. R. Tools transform 80. Stop. Done. MU already exists as a glyph. Annoying reason. B. Tools. Rotate 90. Right bar. Doesn't show up down below there because it's already predefined. They can remove character. I don't know why all that stuff is fine. I mean, my font won't have it. Like all of these shapes here, they're not defined, but there's preset positions for them. So I have no idea how you would type a paragraph marker, for instance, but it exists. So there's a spot for it. So if I was to create a glyph called paragraph, it would go to that spot, not be defined down below. Like, of course, like I said, I am doing things here that really you don't normally. Okay, go back over to features. Probably forgotten how to four substatements. Okay, so that's another thing I do up here. Exception, look up, replace sub. Oh, semicolon there. So what that means is if at any point you hit an O keyboard, it will actually substitute it for an O. Okay, flag green, that one green. It doesn't mean anything, but to me it means I have finished. Right here, there, lift, there. Oh, I had highlighted it, brings up a massive all of one. Does ignorant in the ways of font. That's right for all of these. Go back to tail. Then wiggle room. In and surprisingly enough, same again. That go three the hair. The hair here. Here. Those green. The margin on all of them should be right. Save. Put pairs. Output. Now, our symbol for N. Radically different than the rest, probably, so that it's distinguishable. So I have another one that's square. Start. Do that. From the 0 point doesn't actually matter where you do the 750 square. Inside of that, there. Let's do first contour, so it's full. This contour, and of course it is at the wrong orientation. Copy it. That does not look like it's at the bottom. That feature at the bottom. Tools, transform, rotate 90. There. That. Right. Here. Okay. Copy. E. Transform, rotate E. E. That. 90. That. Now we're looking at these four here. There. 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 That's consistent with the rest. I'm not sure that's visually apparent. Oh, there. Good. Good. Flag version 7 here. One of the things I like. Grabbing. Definitely. Okay. Right. Oh. Oh. File. And that fail. Margin. First margin. Okay. That failed. Here we go. Rails. Fail. I can't. This is gonna be so. Okay. Save. Highlight these. Green. Golden. Features window. A. I. A. Sub. E. 2. And U. Save. Clear the error. Pilot, whatever the term is. There. Okay. That should be the entire syllabary. Fine. There's no punctuation or anything like that. Haven't done any of that stuff. That is the syllabary. Don't know that I've got all of the features part of the. You guessed it. Why? You. You're what? Yeah. You. Okay. So now we have 8. 8. 8. Hey. Okay. So H. Yes. Yes. B. B. That too. Sub. D. A. E. E. A. Place. E. E. D. E. U. P. E. E. Okay. Have P. Have F. P. Yes, I did. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. F. W. All of that saved. All be working. Any of them. But N doesn't have a tail on it. May not be the way I want it to put a tail on it now. Decide on that later. Oh, you're not thinking right. Anyway, green, green, there. We want to go to preview anyway. Now you can see that 10 characters in join 10. One of the things that I wanted to do by making this a fixed block size, make sure that although it joins a word together like this for ease of reading, when it was put, say on a wall, part of a monument, something like that, it would be consistent blocks. It would be a grid. I like the look of that. I admired that. Iron hieroglyphs and I really like that look, and I want to keep that. I know when people write Chinese and Japanese, they have a sort of mental grid for how everything is located. They do the same thing, I think, anyway. Maybe not with hand. Certainly seems to be right. So from here with these vowels, the letter MU, which for the syllable MU, all of this stuff here is the syllable created. So that's it. That's that done. Now I do want to make this a logosyllabary, so I'm going to try um, logographic things, which are going to look very Chinese by comparison. Sure, probably Japanese, but I don't read either. So we are going to go font, generate glyph. I'm going to name it Chin. Know that I want that. There it is there. Now it's gone by default and used the Hebrew symbol, the background. You can kind of see it in shadow. I think that's maybe that's fine. Sure, that's Hebrew. Because the font software assumes you're dealing with a language that exists already. Very weird for it. This will be more complex to build. Pretty simple. Distinct from the others. Yeah, there. Oh, box at the top that with the rest. We'll go 2 by 2. How did I do it? Put them wider and narrow. Very good. Curve out a bit. Curve. Good. If I like that or not. Take paste it. Take it over here. Horizontal. Hard. Probably the only person using software carries digital. Might be right and down. There's here. Hard to say it. All right. But now, so, I forgot. Whatever reason I decided early on, building the little will connect, make it very obvious. Really easy, it up, but when it was lift like that. Okay, so not sure what I think of that. Ah, I know one thing. It's here. That guy knows. Yeah. Select pen, pen. So fix the errors. Probably not visible to you at all. Glaring to me. Okay, that would be syllable shin. Violates the rules for the rest here, which makes it distinct. Adapted into the writing system from some other source, and we need to go to features and in it. So look up. Want to call it? Don't want to call it and ripping off a term. Logo. Curly logo. Oh, when you have substate inside of, when do you just have substate inside a thing? The font will go through them and execute them. That's done. When you put them, it will stop at the first one it matches too. So when you put them inside a lookup like this, the lookup gets checked every single. So sub S 8 10 pin to do it. We're gonna make it more elaborate by putting square that. I'll put in 6. So now see, you don't send screen there. 1, 3. There. Now you see what's happened is because I had just coincidentally typed in Mashinda, it's taken this and substituted that glyph or shin in the middle there. And so I can make up a bunch of combinations that would be words or determiners or something like that, and include them, and they will just get rendered. That's kind of the look I wanted to check out, the margin. So I go in here, type in shin, get that. Up until that point, I get chi, shin. If I type in shin shi, that's what it will produce. Say, that's what it will produce. Mashin will do that. So what I want to do is come up with enough different glyphs of comparable art style that they can be combined in like this. They can have separate elements that are attached. Syllabary should all be attached. Now makes me think though that maybe I should be resizing. Not sure if I should. Better. I go back here. This is where the iterative was. So where there it is. Come back here. I drag this by 2. This this so that that look better or worse. What I'm going to do is type in ooh, that won't work. E I could distort the shapes, follow that pattern, instead of mag u. If I go to distort this so that the pattern is going to look a little odd. Mu. Color that red. Here. Color that one in red. So I've it up here around U. So those change that there. This one. This here. Orange. Or we move that halfway. Just as odd. I think through that, that, that. Okay. There. So no, I don't think it's proof that. That might mean that I need to adjust in. I don't think I have the space to do it. And I like the um, wider side, narrower top. Could narrow it even more. Raise it up. Ah, ah. That produces too big a hole. All of back that. This it down. Yeah, that's not horribly visual, but it is more emphasized. Other version. I need to come up with a couple more. That really what's going to happen. I'm going to end up replacing all of the glyphs I just with different problems. Okay, and a couple of other shapes they work. We'll go to out there. So glyph. Ooh, there's a. I have a glyph for they. I was going to define one for they, but if I do that, then I have to replace the existing they. It's fine when I do shin. It has an N on it. Okay, we'll just invent a different word. Doesn't matter. Qua, glyph. I'll leave that as a problem for later. No, font. Right glyph. KUA. So there's KUA. So then we go over to features. Bam. Well, uh, alphabetical. A, tick, two, tick, A. Just because it's easier to find. Haven't done here. I will. Um, so, qua. Uh, the one I was going to make very similar. Not going to make that. Make something different. Proof of concept. Yep. There. The hell cursor is that? Weird. No idea what that. Okay. Go canvas slightly because it's too big. Yeah. Pop. I, wait. We had gap 3. If play and and like that. Oh, color. Hard. Preview. Oh, I have to find it through here. Hit 2A. AU. Okay. Running it first. Or AU. Different rule. Rule sub AU. Still draws KUA as glyph. There. Still drawing. So there. Sub logos. Oh, There. Now it'll. That would say question. Say. Heard. Now, with an actual Asian writing system, they have some sort of tools they use to pick the shapes they want and to compose a character. And I don't got that. I can't. Um, so I'm brute forcing it here by just saying, you have a Western keyboard, you're going to type stuff in, and I'm going to rip out what you type in and put it up there. So if I type in KU, I get the KU symbol. If I type in A, it gets substituted. Why? Because it's gone through, it's sorted the KU, then I add the A and it goes through and it says, oh, there's a KU and an A in a row, so I got to put that up there. That makes sense. Now, okay, that kind of lines up design-wise because the space up here is the same size as the space up here. The line there is parallel. After that, it falls apart. If that means, my cursor? I don't know if that means that needs to be dropped down here or if that would just look weird. I think it looks better than this. I don't think it has to be perfect. If I wanted to keep inventing things, I could just be substituting, like instead of saying this one here is KUA, I could say that was KU. I could just go replace KU with this. Yeah. Basically, that means any of my logogram has to be something that is longer than a simple syllable. So I'm not going to have a logogram for tsa, but I might for tsan. I do for shin. Or I might have one for fun or fui, something like that. That would be valid. These would be leftovers from older writing system got mixed in with a syllabary that was devised by some. And of course, each of these things should theoretically originally come from uh, a shape that was a pictogram. But I'm all that. The Ashin Awikwa. Looking at it from the does it look okay point of view. I don't. But I might end up screwing around with the design of syllabary, not be a but until I can come up with a pattern that this. Let's go look. Ah, I do first. Ah, okay. If we went by the logic of the other glyphs there, we'll go up to there, come down to here. This would all out down there. Of course, the joiner too. To color this, if that red, follow up. We here somewhere. Down to was down there. Overall dimension. Giving it one hot horizontal. That doesn't look bad either, does it? Color that one black, red. Go who was that would go. Sorry,